Hey everyone, welcome today as we look at a very encouraging chapter in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 6, and signaling in, zoning in on one particular verse, that being verse 33. But chapter 6 is indeed full of encouragement, so full of instructions from Jesus about righteousness, about how to pray, giving us the model prayer, how to fast, talking about God and possessions and what we give. And then he gets to one of the most, I'm sure, probably one of the most thought provoking parts of chapter 6. It's one of those that I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, have turned to at times in our lives and looked at, studied to see what it is that he had to say because he talks about worry. He talks about anxiety, and all of us have it, small scale, large scale, it doesn't matter, anywhere in between. There is a wealth, there are a wealth of things in this life at times that we would worry about. But he tells us the very first few words of this section says, don't worry. This is why I tell you, don't worry about your life. But then he comes down with the instruction that I believe is a filter, is the verse. It's a verse that should be the filter for our life in everything that we do. And that is verse 33. And he says, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you as well. So all doesn't mean just some of the things that we worry about and are concerned about and anxious about in our lives, but he said, and all of these things. But the caveat is there too as well. We must, you must, and I must seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. Life is a lot like a coin. You can spend it any way you wish, but you only spend it once. And choosing one thing, this one thing, Jesus says, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. Choosing this one thing over all the rest throughout life, it is a difficult thing to do. And especially true when the choices are so many and the possibilities are so close to us. There's so much to choose from in life. But to be quite honest about it, we really are not given numerous possibilities. Jesus gave us the top priority for life right here, Matthew 6:33. He said, in effect, this is your priority. This comes first. And if I am to seek, or if you are to seek first in your life, God's kingdom and his righteousness, then whatever else I do ought to relate to that goal. Where I work, who I spend my time with, the one you marry, the decision, whatever the decision may be in life, the house you buy, the car you drive, whatever comes along, every decision you make needs to be filtered through this. Where you put your money, where you spend your time, what you buy, what you sell, what you give away. Filter. Living out the kingdom life means that everything must remain before the throne of God and under the authority of God as supreme and sovereign ruler. Everything, everything must be held loosely so that it can be turned, the grip can be loosened to give to him. So the question today then is, what tangibles? What tangibles are you holding on to? What are you gripping so very tightly? Have these things become your security? Are you tied to some image in your mind other than the image that you see of God? Maybe some name that you're trying to live up to, some reputation you're trying to keep, some job, some possession, some person. If you can't let it go, this is our tip for the day, I guess. If you can't let it go, then it's a priority to you. It's impossible to hold on to these things and people and at the same time be a faithful servant of God. Life does place before us in a long life period. Life does place before us hundreds of possibilities, even more. Some are bad, many are good, a few we could probably term the best. But each of us then have to decide, what is my choice? What is my reason for living? In other words, what priority has taken first place in my life? And I pray and I do my very best to abide by this myself, failing at times. God knows that. But I do my very best, and I pray that you do as well, to seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, knowing that the rest will be allowed to us. God bless you, and we'll see you again soon if it's his will. Remember, he loves you, and so do I.